Maree, Burnett. Oh, no, that doesn't look like... Oh, there's two of you.
Yes.
Hi.
Thank you, Your Worship and Councillors. I'm Mark Christensen. I chair the trustees for the Conservation Trust, and I have Maree Burnett, who is the General Manager for that. Now we've got some pictures, but no words. So they're just going to play behind us some things that are on the peninsula. We've got a short amount of time, so you've seen our written submission. I just want to emphasise 6 points from that submission. The first is that the Trust was founded in 2001, and that arose from a mediated settlement out of the then district plan around significant biodiversity on private land. And the then Banks Peninsula District Council agreed to the Trust's formation in 2001 as a community-driven organisation designed to protect and enhance biodiversity on private land and across the district, across Banks Peninsula generally, through the use of non-regulatory methods. And we say that that mission remains just as valid today as when the Trust began. So that was the first point. The second point is that we believe that our success in biodiversity protection has been due to widespread community support and by working with landowners in a non-challenging and non-threatening sort of way. The third point is that we believe that the successful delivery of the Council's biodiversity strategy is dependent on the Council achieving support from the community and from landowners. In our view, the strategy simply cannot be achieved without the community helping to deliver it. Fourth point is that the Trust can access funds for biodiversity protection and leverage a volunteer workforce which isn't available to the Council. Fifthly, we have effective relationships with the Council now, with staff at both the operational park ranger level and also at policy levels. And finally, the sixth point is that there is an increasing level of interest over the peninsula in conservation and sustainable land management generally. And with the resources that we have currently, we currently are unable to meet that demand working with landowners. So while we're extremely grateful for the continuing support that the Council gives to the Trust, the increase in funding that the Trust is looking for would mean that we are really able to make a difference in getting the Council's biodiversity strategy humming. So thank you. Those are the only comments we wanted to make in support of the submission, and invite any questions. Thank you.
Very good. Do we have any questions? I think Phil, yes.
Thank you for clarifying that from your point of view as the Trust. And like Pam Richardson, as chair of the community board, she often makes some of those points too. But what I wanted to ask you, in terms of the work that you're doing, and this might be sort of alongside or outside your scope, but there is some funding in our long-term plan earmarked for fencing of areas which I guess would be erosion prone and where some plantings might be desirable. Is that something you'd also support? And I'd assume it's not a specific part of your work, but is it something you'd support?
Well, we certainly support it, yes. And we do a lot of work with landowners around helping them out with pest control, but also fencing, because we're the only organisation in the country that's has powers to covenant land, other than QE2, which is special legislation, but the only community organisation in the country with those powers. So in our covenanting role, we need to seek funding for fencing.
Andrew.
Thank you for your submission. Now, in the context of your request for a grant of 150,000, I mean, we're very much in the space as a council at the moment of looking at ways that we can save money, of course, both within our organisation and in terms of our dealings with other organisations. And I'm interested in the way in which you are, and you're possibly already doing it, or otherwise looking at opportunities for working with other groups. So community groups maybe like the Rod Donald Banks Peninsula Trust or the Banks Peninsula Water Management Zone Committee and so on, groups that may have similar objectives to your own, where some of those things can be achieved without perhaps the need for such a great amount of money.
You got that?
We definitely collaborate with all of those organisations that you reference and others. I guess the points that we'd really like to emphasise to you are that we believe we can make a really significant contribution to you achieving the outcomes you're looking for in the biodiversity strategy in a more efficient way than council probably can by supporting us because of the volunteer workforce that we can engage, and I guess our opportunity also to get some funds that come from other organisations that the city can't leverage.
Yeah, Glenn?
Thank you. I imagine you're working with Colin Merck on this and his interest and passion in biodiversity.
Well, not specifically with Colin in a direct role, but we work with a lot of the ecologists. So
Yeah.
we're getting a lot of help from Hugh Wilson, of course, is engaged, but also scientists from Lincoln and Canterbury universities.
Could be another opportunity for a synergy over this. And
We're actively working on what we're calling sponsorship agreements, effectively, with tertiary providers and science providers, including Landcare, where Colin comes from, to get some science around to demonstrate the efficiency or the effectiveness of what we're doing, particularly around the covenanting. And we want to work with the scientists to be able to actually produce some science which demonstrates that we make a difference. I mean, anecdotally, people say we think we do, and we think we so, but we need, I think, some more science around that. So people like Colin can certainly help.
That's great. Well, thank you very much. We've obviously got a big task ahead of us, so we'll carry on with the submissions, but thank you very much for making the effort to come.